Good afternoon and welcome to the next chapter of Lockdown Stories. This is chapter 3. We have the Nothe opening this weekend and we really wanted to talk to the chairman here at the Nothe, James Farquharson, today to find out a little bit more about the Nothe and obviously the last 12 or 14 weeks that we've had lockdown. So just to start, James, could you just tell us a little bit about your role here that you've got with the Nothe, and just tell us a bit about the Nothe and what it does?
I'll start with the fort itself. So it was built 1860 to 1872 to defend Portland roads as it was then, and all of Weymouth Bay. So it's part of a system of defences that were built by Lord Palmerston. It was used pretty much continuously through that period of time into the First World War, Second World War, and then after the Second World War it started to become a bit obsolete. I think it was 1956 it was finally vacated. It started to get taken over by people who didn't, basically they did a lot of drinking and partying and things like that here. And towards the late 70s it was taken over by Weymouth Society, opened almost exactly 40 years ago, 29th of June 1980, to the public. It's been open ever since, apart from this last few months.
And what was your role been here since you've sort of taken over as the chairman?
I'm the chairman. So it's been quite a lot of change. So not only am I the new chair, I took over on 1st of January. We've also got two new general managers. They're job sharing. So Marianne and Kate, who might float around in the background at some point. But anyway, so there's been quite a lot of change anyway, and new ideas and new energy put into the place. I just got my feet under the table, I suppose, and then news of a virus appeared.
Well, not like the plague, the older virus, but a new one.
New one, yeah. So then, I thought my job was to guide the whole place and develop it and make it better for visitors. But it turned out my job in the first instance was to quickly close it down and minimise our outgoings.
Is that how you felt? So you obviously heard back in March that we had the coronavirus happening, and we obviously Boris said we had to lock down all businesses and attractions and events like that. And obviously you just come into the job and you're thinking,
1st of January, I thought, right, great, let's go. Starting to work out what I thought needed to happen and how we could do that. And then I suppose the news started coming out in February that there was this virus thing. So, oh, hello, what's this? And then come March, it was announced that we couldn't open. So we had to put nearly everyone went on furlough. All the projects that we thought we were going to do were reassessed and mostly shelved. And we've mothballed the place. But this is very nearly 150 years old. You can probably see some scale of the place in the background. You can't just leave it. It will deteriorate. So we had to keep some of the maintenance going. So even if it's closed, there's still expenses happening with this place.
Sure. What about your personal sort of life? How did that change? Is it do you do other works? Obviously, the chairman is a secondary role, effectively, is it?
Yeah. When I took it on, I was quite busy with my job. I've been a councillor before this, so I know how to juggle what you can do for the community and try not to get sacked at your day job as well.
Sure.
It is quite difficult, but where there's a will, there's a way. You can always make it work if you really want to. And my employees were very accommodating with it as well. So
sure, but because it's a different situation, obviously you can multitask. But did you have any sort of feeling this is a bit different when every single business sort of shut down around you and you're sort of within it as well?
Well, it's not. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't. I thought I was going to be running a really fun museum of coastal defence, which is what we're doing. But at the same time, we had to get it shut down, reduce the costs. We had to enable everyone to work remotely. Some of the systems here weren't modern. So to go from being in the office to working from home, they weren't fit for that. And to be fair to everyone here, they adapted very, very quickly. So we all went online. We took some basically obsolete computers, got some new laptops that would work at home. So there was a lot of back-end change that we had to do quite quickly. But yeah, not much to do with opening those in, more to do with IT and back-end systems.
We've got to cobble things together sometimes to make it work, but you know, obviously systems are usable.
Yeah.
You know, they're usually like that. So. But so looking forward now, effectively you're opening this weekend,
Yeah,
which is great.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
Saturday 11th.
Excellent, really great for you to open.
Yeah.
What do you see the future as for how will the Nothe work, you know, particularly with COVID, and obviously, you know, and on a more personal note, your own opinion on maybe attractions in the future. How do you think that they're going to be able to operate?
We're quite lucky because we're a cross between a museum and almost a park, because a lot of the structure is open air. You can see the parade ground here, the rampart. So there's 3 levels. There's the magazine level downstairs, the parade ground level, and the ramparts. So 2 of those 3 are open air. There's not much problem getting around them. Magazine level is slightly different, but we've opened up probably 9/10 of that. There are some one-way systems and hand cleaning stations. We've had to change the shop around and the ticket booth. But you might have heard we did a crowdfunding campaign for we raised £10,000.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone. That's enabled us to. It's a big place and there's a lot to do. Moving the ticket desk in itself, there was a lot of IT to do with that, and just physically taking it up, moving it, making it fit into a different space. It all costs money, but I think as a benefit of this, when everything. Well, we're opening on Saturday. Tomorrow, the ticket desk is better, and the shop is better. We've got better IT systems. We're able to collaborate with each other like that, and I think there's more of a culture of change, or accepting change, is being created because of COVID. So, in some ways, it's been positive. On the negative side, we don't get funding. We've gone for 40 years essentially without public funding. It's all from ticket sales.
Sure.
So as I said earlier, it costs money to run this place even when it's closed. If we don't get people in through the door, then eventually that money runs out. We worked out that probably by next spring our reserves would have completely gone, which is not what we wanted to use reserves for. We wanted to use reserves to develop the offer, but it's just going to keep us going. It would have just been keeping us going till spring. But because we're opening, we don't know how busy we're going to be, but let's hope we're reasonably busy. We should get enough money to get through to spring next year, have some reserves still there.
Yeah.
Over there is our lift. It's got a slightly dodgy oil cooler. Apparently that costs £47,000 to replace. It could break at any stage. So if we don't have reserves, if that breaks or any other number of things break, then it puts in jeopardy us running. So we don't want to run on.
Goes,
yeah.
Then it's like at home when big always goes when you save all your money up.
So we didn't really want to get in a position where we got to next spring with £0 to open up with, and then the lift breaks or something important.
You need a fighting fund, a reserve.
We do need a fighting fund. So the success of these next few months is really important, and it's important. It's important not just for us. It's important, I think, for Weymouth's offer as a town. We are the leading heritage attraction in Weymouth. It's one of the reasons why people come to Weymouth. They love the architecture.
We're second only to the beach, actually, which is not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So having us open and having us do the COVID safety measures properly, I think it's quite a good signal to people elsewhere that Weymouth's open and it's safe, and please come down and spend your money.
Absolutely. So finally, just give me something salient, some time during lockdown. It can be about yourself, or it can be about some one moment where you sat there and you thought, actually, it's not all too bad. This is actually quite a good thing that's come out of the whole COVID situation over the last 14 weeks. Any one thing?
Well, to me, it's the movement of the ticket desk in the shop, because I used to come in before I was chair. I used to come in. There was a room you went in, and it was full of sort of random stuff, and you walked in. Is this the right door? And then after sort of 5 paces in, you saw the ticket desk around the corner, and it kind of didn't work. And now, because we've had to lift it up and put it somewhere that the flow for the visitors is just loads better. And so I think it's just more attractive when you turn up to the town. You're going to see something, come through our tunnel, shall I go in? And then a really pleasant experience right at the off. It's really important.
So you might not have done that had
No,
the whole
I'm sure we
situation
wouldn't
with
have done
you
that.
probably
I'm sure-
just left it as it.
Yeah, I'm sure we would have just
You know,
left
you
it.
would have realised that might have been
Yeah.
a wider area that you can sort of use.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah,
So to me, that's the probably the single best thing to come out of this.
Fantastic. I really wish you and your team luck this weekend with
Thank you.
everything that you're doing here, and it does look amazing actually as it's going up. So thank you very much for your time, James.
Cheers, Craig.